What's up everyone, it's Circle2 here, and where have I been in the past year? Well, I'm still on my fakemon anime challenge, so that's still ongoing. But more importantly, have you noticed what's going on with YouTube lately? Deep Humor made a lot of videos on this topic, silencing and suppressing videos, hiding videos from you, violating privacy laws, banning VPNs, AI slop. Even channels are dying. It's so bad that even governments are banning YouTube. At this point, you have to ask yourself, is it even worth posting your videos on YouTube anymore? Because right now, YouTube has competition like Rumble, TikTok, Vimeo, Newgrounds. You get what I'm saying. On top of that, there's also been some drama what's happening over at Steam. In case you don't know, Australian feminist group Collective Shout has been forcing Steam to censor or ban not safe for work video games through Visa, MasterCard, and PayPal. Thankfully, leaks kept appearing that exposed the Collective Shout their hypocrisy. Sometimes Collective Shout will even slip up and delete their tweets just to be on brand, but fail. One of them is how to defend Cuties. Yeah, Cuties. That very extremely controversial movie over at Netflix. So to Collective Shout, it's harmful on girls to pick sexy cartoon fictional women, but it's okay to exploit real world young girls. Whether if you're a masculinist or feminist, that's just wrong, Collective Shout. Over in the UK, the government demands and insists that the internet must be censored, with the excuse, think of the children. Yeah, right. Even still, there are still parts of the UK that is not going the government's way. Especially given how Trump embarrassed the UK government. I'm looking at you, Kiara Starmer. Also, Roblox has been doing some scandals. Due to it, Roblox is constantly getting banned and sued. First and foremost, Roblox has made the controversial move of defending child predators. You would think that as a company, Roblox would avoid doing that, but nope. And to make matters even worse, Roblox YouTuber Schlep Roblox CMD'd him to stop hunting down child predators. But he wasn't doing the job himself, he was working with law enforcement. Do you know what that means? Meaning that Schlep was not really a vigilante. And now, inherently, Roblox is getting sued for their actions against Schlep. Deservedly so. That's corporate karma for ya. As in karma on the corporate. Honestly, based on the leak info for the Pokemon Terra League, and what's going on with Roblox, Typhlosion will be very much at home on that platform. You know what I'm talking about. That too could be its own video, a follow-up on my video on the Pokemon Terra League. Speaking of Pokemon, at the time of this recording, Nintendo got hacked and Legend ZA just got leaked. Nintendo's mad because they insist the other one was bad enough. And while I am late to the party, I still want to mention all the cons that outdo the pros of the Nintendo Switch 2. The EULA, the paywall, battery being weaker than the Switch 1, is not really a Switch 2, it's a Switch Pro. All that. Nintendo has shown more and more of its greed every single day. YouTubers like Angry Vigilante, Angry Guy, Nintendine, Furtunga Plays, and more YouTubers I don't need to mention, they've all been pointing out all the scandalous practices Nintendo's been doing lately, especially with Power World. All this is just so scandalous worthy that Nintendo's stock is crashing down as we speak. And Doug Bowser is leaving his duties being Nintendo of America's president. That will be its own video, I promise, but there's just so much I want to talk about in this video that I have to shorten it. At first, I was excited about Legend ZA and Pokemon, but now I'm not. Now don't get me wrong, I'm happy that my favorite Firestarter Delphox got a Mega Evolution, but it's behind a paywall, like everything in the Switch 2. Plus, the graphics of Legend ZA looks atrocious. They look so uninspired. You can tell that Game Freak lost their passion developing Pokemon, especially when you look at their new game they're developing, Beast of Reincarnation for Xbox. Plus, EA, Electronic Arts, just got bought out by the Arabian government. Yeah, that's interesting. That happened. It should be noted, however, that EA comes from America, so if the Arabian government could buy them out, they could do the same to Nintendo. If the Arabian government ever buys out Nintendo, I can imagine all the layoffs on the executives and lawyers. That would be deservedly so, but keep the developers. Lastly, I should mention that men are walking away from dating with women. I get this info from Angry Guy, but here's the point. To cut it short, men are becoming more aware that women are taking advantage of them. Their money, their life, their house, how they live. And now, men are living it up. They're chilling and relaxing. Women, on the other hand, are being desperate and struggling to find dates to take advantage of. Given how women trust their emotions, this is not surprising. I don't want to sound sexist, but right now, women have forgotten their roles in life. A man is supposed to approach them. Now I do admit, a woman can approach a man, but they shouldn't expect to have money involved. Women seem to not like men and just take advantage of them. And now, the tables are turning. Even worse, women aren't even committed to stealing. That is not a good sign. Do these feminists even want to be treated like men? Because women are not above the law. Stealing silence from men can get a woman arrested, even if she's pretty or attractive. I say that because there are police women. I can't imagine a movie being made about these feminists, opening the public's eyes about how hypocritical women can be. Going back to the Switch 2, Nintendo was getting sued by Procon SB over in Brazil for anti-consumer practices with the Switch 2. Imagine that. You see, on June 26 this year, Nintendo only had 20 days to respond to Procon SB, but they failed, enabling Procon to sue Nintendo. And the worst part, Nintendo has no legal presence in Brazil, which is a law firm requirement. I know a lot of you are going to argue with me saying that this lawsuit is going to go nowhere and that Nintendo is going to win and Nintendo has to win because it's Nintendo and how they always win, never lose. No, they have lost lawsuits that were filed against them. And a quick reminder that Doug Bowser is leaving Nintendo of America. By the time the Procon SP is victorious in this lawsuit against Nintendo, Doug would have already been gone by then when that happens. Honestly, either Doug has been fired or he's leaving Nintendo just so he can escape the lawsuit. Now that's just very scummy for a president of a company to do. He may have a good time with his family and children, but after the lawsuit, he might get searched and investigated. Deservedly so, I might add. Nintendo's anti-consumer practices with the Switch 2 is so greedy that they're not allowing you to buy used games or have used games or even use used games. They insist that you must buy as many Mario Kart World copies as possible. And that's two more things. Mario Kart World and the game key cards. God, where do I begin? The game key card scandal is that the game key card has no game data. They only serve to contain downloading code. And have you ever had any concern of the Switch 2's magnets in the Joy-Cons? Well, you should have. And that it was a good thing that the Switch 1 didn't have magnets in the Joy-Cons. Because apparently, if the game key cards were ever exposed to any strong magnets, they will be rendered useless and unavailable for their code. Seriously, when I first heard that the Switch 2's Joy-Cons were going to use magnets, I knew something was going to be wrong. Think about it. Magnets plus electronics equals corruption. As for Mario Kart World, it costs $80, but it's empty as an open world game. It's so bad that even the Sonic Racing's Crossworld commercial mocked it, realigning the rivalry between Nintendo and Sega. There's also the matter of Nintendo changing licensing terms. Consoles and games are something you're supposed to own, but Nintendo insists that they must be allowed to modify something you already own. But if you modify it yourself, or if you modify it back, they can break it. The Switch 2 games are just a lease. It's very nasty. And you can't even refund it. It's stuck with you permanently. That is just so unfair. When Sony did this before Nintendo, they got sued brutally in a class action lawsuit. And that was with the PlayStation 3. The same punishment happened on Microsoft when they did that with the Xbox One. History has every right to repeat itself onto Nintendo. And now, Nintendo's own lies are gonna come back to bite them. What do I mean by this? A noble activist group, Gaming Consumer Rights, has had enough of Nintendo's predatory nature and is out to go after them by ruining it for Nintendo right in front of their faces. And while boycotting Nintendo won't simply work for gaming consumer rights, they do have some up their sleeve. They plan to protest Nintendo in person in the New York Comic Con and Game Awards. You just gotta imagine how embarrassing it would be for Nintendo if they get protested in person at the Game Awards. Very embarrassing indeed. Finally, the Pokemon Company can be stopped under patenting and we can make it happen. What do I mean by this? The Department of Homeland Security posted a video of arresting illegal immigrants using the theme song of Season 1 of the Pokemon anime Gen 1. If ShowPro and the Pokemon Company can't do anything about that, then we can make it worse for them. Legal Mindset has more elaborate videos on that topic, link will be in the description. Again, this isn't goodbye, I'm just saying, YouTube is just becoming more and more difficult for a lot of people. And don't worry, I haven't forgotten about Object Break Stop the Snow Part 8. It will still be animated, fully. But here's a question guys. Do y'all know a free version of PowerPoint that I could use offline? Like a free version of the current version? Let me know in the comments below. And please don't lead me to any scams or anything like that, especially links that will give me viruses. I'm having a hard time trying to sign in on PowerPoint, and I need your help on that. So I just need a cracked version of the current PowerPoint. I'll see you later, have a good day, take care, and stay tuned. This is Circle236 signing off, and then I'll see you guys in another video. Oh yeah, one more thing guys. Do you remember the Smackjeeves comments I've been posting? Because I haven't forgotten about that. I'm still looking forward to post more. For those of you who remember Smackjeeves and his comics, which comics do you want to see next on YouTube? Let me know in the comments below. They can all be found on the Internet Archive. But until then, take care, stay tuned, and see you guys next time.